Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, and I just wanted to make a quick little video here on the topic of EFT and why does it work. So, as you probably know, I'm very passionate about EFT, I'm passionate about tapping, energy psychology, and what I regularly tell people is we're not sure why this works, but it does. And then I teach it, and then they use it, and it works, and it's great. Now, for those of you who are like, still, why does this work? Why does this work? Last night, in a session with a client, we were discussing this, and some things came out of my mouth that I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to write that down, because I think I'm on to something about why it works. So for you sciencey fact people out there, and I'm one of those too, like I love data and information, here is some additional thought about why it works. So the tapping utilizes energy meridians, right, in the body. These energy meridians are direct connections to our nervous system. Our nervous system is what determines, in part, how well we function. So here is what came out in the session last night, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think that's it. So when we are in fight or flight, when you are stressed, when you are anxious, when you are angry, when you are overwhelmed with life, what happens is our nervous system goes into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. It goes into what I call survival brain, which I talk about a lot. When we are in survival brain, we do not think very well. We do not make good decisions. You don't make good decisions. We all know this. We all don't make good decisions. EFT calms the nervous system, and it gets us out of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. That's what I hadn't completely put together. Once we are out of the reptile brain, once we're out of survival brain, we can now make better decisions. There you go. A question was also asked of me about like why psych meds are helpful to some people. Okay, now I understand not everybody wants them, not everybody takes them, not everybody needs them. But again, a client and I were discussing, gosh, what's the benefit of, gee, when I'm on my meds, life is better. And I realized, oh my gosh, like it's the same dynamic going on. If you have a biochemically based mental health issue, bipolar, some kinds of depression, a lot of anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder stuff, or post-traumatic stress symptoms, then your body is biochemically not in a good place. It is off. Medication puts your body back in a range of balance. And guess what? That takes you out of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. I have a feeling, this is just my personal and professional intuition, that when someone has a biochemical imbalance, obviously it affects your nervous system, obviously. And it probably puts people, which would make sense, in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, which accounts for a lot of bad decisions, a lot of impulsive behavior, compulsive behavior, because the person is trying to deal with the problem of an imbalanced nervous system is what it comes down to. So taking psych meds that work for you, put your brain in a better range, and then you can make better decisions. Like, don't do destructive things. Most people I work with who have destructive behavior in their life are fully aware that this is not a good thing to do. Like, they don't think it's a good thing. However, when they're engaging in it, they don't feel able to control the impulses. And when you're in survival brain, you also are not able to control your impulses, like the impulse to run away or lash out or defend yourself, protect yourself, because it's survival. So those pieces just really came together for me last night. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to share this. So any of you that enjoy the sciencey, like how does this work kind of part, I think that is a part of what's going on. So in order to treat trauma and stress and all of that, we have to calm the nervous system. And if you look at any treatment on trauma, yes, a big part of the treatment is calming the nervous system, settling the nervous system, creating safety, creating a sense of safety, creating a sense of peace and calm. Because when we're calm, that's when we learn. That's when we can take in new information. That's when we can practice new behavior. If you do not feel safe, if you are not calm, you can't learn. The part of your brain that learns literally cannot. It's offline. It is not working. You cannot learn when you are stressed out, which is why children that come from abusive homes, neglectful homes, kids who don't have enough to eat, kids who don't have a safe place to sleep, do poorly in school because their brains are in survival mode. Their brains cannot learn. These kids might be super smart, but they're not going to take in the information. Well, gosh, the same goes for adults. If you don't feel safe, if you don't feel supported, if your everyday life isn't reasonably okay, then you're not going to be able to make changes. You can't go to, you could go see the best therapist in the world. It's not going to help because you're not going to be able to take the action necessary because you're in survival brain. So that was an intense 5 minutes, 6 minutes, but I just wanted to share that. So EFT is a tool. I think it's a tremendous tool, but I just wanted to explain, I think, another piece of why I think it works. It calms the nervous system. It gets us out of survival brain, which means we can make good decisions, which means we can take in new information, which means you can use that good advice your best friend gave you, or that great advice your father, mother, grandparent gave you, or that great advice your therapist gave you, and you can go do it. And then when you do it, that makes changes. And then you can build on those changes. But until you can actually take action, nothing changes. Okay, I hope that was helpful. I was excited to share that. I will see you next time.